Hello again and welcome to Gabbett Media. I'm Grant Abbott and today I'm going to be discussing how you can start a business in your free time. Now I call it free time, but often we don't have free time, but I mean time that's away from your job anyway, that's the thinking. So that's what we're trying to do. I'm going to give you 5 rules that I've decided in my head and done some research for and from my own experience. And the best way to start this sort of new business that you want to go for. I'm kind of pointing, I'm taking it from my point of view, which is starting a business that's something like 3D design, 3D art, that sort of thing. But it could relate to any business out there. And it's not one of those that you see on the internet where you build up a business by selling online or passive income type things. It's more the traditional sense where you work hard and you build up a business through the work that you do. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So how can you possibly do something like that whilst holding out a main job, shall we call it? I would say that's the best way of doing things, is to keep your main job. So you've got that security of income and then slowly transition into your business. That's my thinking anyway, and that's my attitude that I'm taking at the moment. What are these 5 rules? So start off small. I think that's essential. Most businesses start off small and it's sort of modest beginnings. Don't expect big things straight away, and the more realistic you are, the less likely it is to fail in that sense, because you're not despondent and you're not expecting big things or putting too much money or effort into it when you can just start off a bit smaller. That's the thinking. So that's number 1. So number 2 is actually start. I know this sounds strange, but lots of people put it off because they worried about failure is the classic. It's not going to work. I'm not quite ready for it. The idea that people might be put off if I go for it now and they see that it's not very good and that will damage the brand. But you can build a brand, you don't instantly create a brand. So don't worry about those sort of things, in my opinion. And my YouTube channel, for example, started off very, very small and it was quite rubbish. Let's be honest, I keep the videos there, but you can look at some of the early videos, they're rubbish. You could argue that they still are, but it's at least growing. Build up, and hopefully they will get better. I will get better and not look down at my notes all the time, that sort of thing. It will get better. Actually start. Don't be afraid of failure. You will get things wrong, but they're learning experiences and you can build. And if it all went completely wrong, you could always think, right, forget that and start again with the knowledge that you've gained. Failure is the best teacher, as I've said loads of times before. Slowly transition, I've sort of hinted on that. So we got start off small, actually start, and the third one is slowly transition. And what I mean by that is, for example, I started off whilst I had my full-time job, and it was very tough, to be honest, but it was something that was linked to my full-time job. That certainly helps. Maybe that should be number 6. Link it to what you're doing so that you can kind of do both at the same time. So I was obviously teaching things like, well, at the time I was teaching media production. So the videos that I did were to do with media production, and I was sort of starting off doing a YouTube channel about video production. Kind of made sense to me. You may want to get completely away from what you're doing. Let's say if you're working in, I don't know, accounts or something, and you want to do film production, then that's going to be tricky. You could do films on accounts though, of course, if you wanted to. But anyway, so slowly transition. And I eventually thought, you know, this is actually working. I'm finding a bit of freelance work as well. So I'm going to go part-time with my job, which luckily my work was happy for me to do. So if you can, do it that way. I've gone part-time and I'm doing my business on the side. It's tricky to balance, and I'll probably go into that a bit later. And it's knowing when to move away from one or take on the other. But I'll talk about that in a second. So slowly transition. So we got start off small, actually start, slowly transition, keep it fun. is the fourth one. It sounds silly, it sounds cliched, it sounds very teacherish actually, sorry about that. Let's have fun, guys. But if you aren't enjoying it, you just, I don't know, you can't really do it, can you? If you're not enjoying these things, you're spending all this extra time, maybe you're earning loads of money. You could argue you might stick at it then and work really hard, but I don't think life should be about just working and making money, because you miss out on life. So keep it fun, enjoy it, and you're more likely to stick at it and build, in my opinion. Again, I always say that to students, do something that you find fun. So when they're choosing their subjects, do you enjoy it? Because if you don't enjoy something and you're slogging away at it, what is life? Because it is a major aspect of our life. I'm going off on one and rambling at this point, but I think that's important. And that's one of the major things for me. If I'm not enjoying my work, then something needs to change. That's how I feel, because it's in our culture, there's a lot to do with, oh, we've got to make money, and you just become a slave. It becomes the rat race. You go to work, you come home, you're too tired to do anything, so you just sit on the sofa in front of the TV, you go off to work again, and it's all about making loads of money. But what's the point? So we can buy more things? I don't know. What's the point of that? If you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying life, then you sort of do wonder, and I think things need to change. But that's a different subject. Stop rambling, Grant, and move on. So that's point number 4, wasn't it? Was keep it fun. Start off small, actually start, slowly transition, keep it fun, and keep it adaptable. So you may find that, which I kind of did, my media production stuff, I slowly transitioned back kind of into games design. I was doing 3D animation for a while, ages before I started the YouTube sort of thing, and then I thought, oh, I really enjoy that aspect, and then I slowly transitioned into it, and my videos became less about my teaching, which was I was doing media theories and things like that, and more about Blender, because they were getting more of an audience, so it made sense to transition in that direction. And I'm sort of working on this blog, and I don't get that many views, but I'm enjoying it, have fun, so I sort of keep going with it, and they're not too difficult to produce. I have to write some notes and that sort of thing, but I'm transitioning and always sort of searching for new pathways and different things, probably taking on way too much. Maybe that should be another rule, don't take on too much. But at least I'm at this early stages. I still feel like I'm early stages, even though I'm a few years in. It feels early to me anyway. I'm still sort of seeing which direction. So I think I'll probably always be like that. Where do I want to be going? And always thinking about being adaptable. So those are my 5 main tips, I would say. How do you deal then with that slow transition is what I alluded to earlier, because at one point the workload's going to get too big. You've got a full-time job and you've got this business that's growing, hopefully. And for me, went part-time, and now I'm getting to the stage where the business, this is the business, I have to do hand gestures, the business is starting to overtake my teaching. So getting the balance is quite tough, and I'm putting way more work into my business than I am my teaching, and I'm getting less from it in terms of income, but I'm getting more from it to a degree in terms of enjoyment. I do still enjoy teaching, so it's difficult. I don't actually want to give this side up because it's quite nice. So it's very difficult. Too many things that I want to do. I'm lucky. I am lucky. What do I do then to ease the burden? The obvious things are employ someone. Don't not take on work, but maybe employ some people to do it. That's really tricky, very tough if you're sort of one of these lone rangers? People who work on their own and do business on their own. There's probably a word for that, I can't think of it, my mind's gone blank. So it's very difficult if you're an individual working as a sole trader, that's the word I was looking for. And you're working on your own, and the thought of employing people sounds like a minefield, and then suddenly you're thinking, do I really want to become a manager? Well, maybe it's not as complicated as that. I'm starting to think, because I have a website and I'm not doing very well at keeping up with that. I've got just so much on, and every now and again I dip in and try and update it, and it doesn't look great. It doesn't function particularly well, and it's not getting me an income, which is the whole point of it, really. was so that I could put affiliated links on there and then maybe work through some advertising and get some sponsorship, but I just haven't got time. And maybe what I need is some sort of website manager person, and then I can just say we'll split the profits 50-50 or something like that. And you can work these things out with these people. Obviously you need to find people that you can trust and people that you can work with and build up contracts. So yes, there is a bit of work to do there, but you're still growing and you're not giving up on things because they're too you're too busy. You're building things, you're banking things in a sense, so that website will run itself, and I'll have someone, ideally I'll have some manager, thanks very much whoever you are, and they're going to run it for me. Obviously I'm still writing content for it because that's what I do anyway, but I don't need to worry about managing it. The Discord server is another one. Running a Discord server is quite, it's time consuming to always be checking there for people who are asking questions, and I like that aspect, so I wouldn't want to not do that. But managing it is quite difficult, so I have a few admin, thank you very much my admin team, and they're all volunteers that are there helping me to run a Discord server. So yeah, and if you can find people that are willing to help you out with that, and maybe there's a future for them in terms of some sort of business opportunities, so you can offer something back when you get the chance. So that sort of slow transition, and maybe because, well, also I've taken on film jobs, and I think my film side of things is sort of diminishing, and I like the 3D work more. If it's visual effects, then I'll go for it. But in terms of film work where I'm going out filming interviews or things like that, then it's not the sort of direction that I won't want to go in. And I don't feel like it's helping me to grow in the areas that I want to grow in, if that makes sense. So I probably need to either bank that and say, I'm going to employ you to do my film work, and I'll take the calls and in terms of organise the work, and you'll go and do it and you'll do the editing, so I can be a manager of that, and sort of just manage the contracts that come in and give them to someone else. So I can employ someone as a sort of freelancer for me to do those things, and then I've banked it. I may do that. I feel like I might just make a break from that, because for me it's the fun aspect more than the income aspect at the moment. But those are your options anyway. You can bank these sort of things that are building up, and not necessarily give up that stability that is your main job. But time it right as well. I'm starting to think, when do I maybe cut down my hours at teaching? Possibly. I don't think so, because again, I'm in a happy place there, which is quite rare in teaching. Dare I say it. I'm in a great college, I've got great students, and I love what I do, so very lucky. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble again, aren't I? So we've got those 5 different things. Start off small, actually start, avoid slowly transition, keep it fun, and keep it adaptable. And that slowly transition I've explained a bit more about. So hopefully this is helpful to you, and if you've got any ideas yourself, then do comment below, and also read other people's comments and comment on those comments if that makes any sense, because loads of people come up with brilliant suggestions that I haven't thought of, or remind me of things that I have thought of that I haven't put in, so it's well worth reading some of those comments. It's very useful to sort of join in that community and find out what other people are going through as well, and come across the Discord server as well, where there's lots of different channels that you can sort of join in the chats there. Maybe I should put a channel for entrepreneurs or business starters as well. That might be a good idea. Anyway, so there's also competitions if you want to join in the competition. The current competition is deadly, and the deadline is tomorrow. The deadly deadline is tomorrow, so you might struggle if you just joined us to join in that, but you can join in some of the next competitions. I haven't decided on the theme for that one. So that's enough from me, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.